What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk to you guys about problems when playing and collecting for the Nintendo Wii. The Wii itself was a very successful entry into the 7th generation of gaming and is considered one of the best-selling game consoles of all time. Now, there are certainly some pros and benefits when it comes to collecting for the Wii, but in this video, we're going to be looking at some problems that aren't really going to be fun to deal with when it comes to playing and collecting for the Wii. Now, of course, I do want to give a special shout out to Homeward Desert, one who recommended to me that I make this video, so I am fulfilling that request and recommendation with this video right here. So of course, let's dive right into this video subject, take a look at some problems when it comes to playing and collecting for the Nintendo Wii right after the intro. Alright, so let's start things off talking about a very major and obvious problem when it comes to collecting for the Nintendo Wii, and that is the fact that there is so much shovelware on this console. While the Wii itself has a ton of fantastic games on there too, such as Super Mario Galaxy, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Wii Sports, Sonic Colors, all that good stuff. Unfortunately, the console itself is just plagued with so much shovelware. So what do I mean by shovelware? These are games that were basically put out onto the console because a lot of developers from back in the day saw the Wii as a family-friendly console, so they took that to their advantage to make a lot of these games for a quick buck with not really putting that much effort into them. I'm talking about games such as Medieval Games, Big League Sports Summer, Six Flags Fun Park. You get the idea. There were so many games on there, let's just face it, a very few percentage of Wii owners would really go out and just frankly buy these games. I certainly never saw anybody whenever I went to GameStop or Target or Best Buy or any of those other big box stores during the 7th generation buying these games. I just never saw it happening. But of course, here we are looking back on the Wii, looking at all these games that were put out. And while I can certainly recommend a bunch of great games for the Wii itself, there is a lot of games that you're going to go through that you're just going to frankly be avoiding like the plague. So that is one thing to really think about when collecting for the Wii, is you're going to run into a ton of shovelware. Now, of course, this is another major problem when collecting for the Nintendo Wii, and that is disc rot. So what is disc rot? Just like the name implies, it is when your disc begins to rot. And there are a few reasons as to what may cause disc rot. It could be the humidity and temperature where the games are stored at. It could be poor manufacturing, along with a host of other things. Right here, I've got a Wii game where it does have a form of disc rot, most likely because of poor manufacturing. When it comes to this game, Ultimate Band, I have not been able to find a copy that doesn't have the label beginning to peel off. While the argument can be made that it sometimes is just poor manufacturing and not disc rot, it is indeed a symptom of disc rot. So it is a little hard to distinguish between the lines. Now, I won't go into all the exact details of disc rot and the forms of disc rot as well, but I will link a video right here that you guys can check out where I go into much more detail about the subject when it comes to disc rot. Of course, the Wii being a disc themed console, it's only a matter of time until you come across a game with disc rot if you are collecting and hunting for Wii games for a good enough period of time. But that is one thing to consider when collecting for the Wii. Now, before we look at more problems that are associated with playing and collecting for the Nintendo Wii, I just want to give you guys a quick recommendation and talk to you guys about Utsushi. Now, Utsushi is an anime-inspired streetwear clothing brand that is not only the sponsor of this video, but also an amazing clothing brand that has a lot of interesting designs that embrace both anime and Japanese culture with the multiple designs that they have on their t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. Now, what I really like about Utsushi is not only the designs that they have for their clothes, but also the quality that they have as well. They use a special technique to put the designs on their products to ensure that you are getting a quality product that is going to last a while and will be able to put up with some wear and tear over time. The shirts are also very comfortable as well, and the clothing brand tries to be environmentally conscious with their hoodies that are made from both recycled and organic materials. And also, when you place an order through Utsushi, it takes a little bit longer because it is sent through a print-on-demand process, meaning they do not keep multiple quantities of one shirt, but it is special ordered for you to prevent waste from going into the environment. And with every purchase that you make through Utsushi, you earn rewards points that you can use to get special discounts. And when you have enough rewards points saved up, you can even use them to buy a full shirt, hoodie, or hat, or any other product of your choice. And of course, I have a special discount to share with you guys today. Please make sure to use the coupon code NATE15 so that way when you go to itsushiclothing.com, you could save 15% off your entire first order when you use the coupon code NATE15. So please make sure to head on over to itsushiclothing.com today, pick up a nice good discount along with some really cool clothing as well. Not only will you get some nice merch for yourself, but you also help support the channel as well. So please make sure to head on over to itsushiclothing.com today and remember to use the coupon code NATE15 to save 15% off your entire first order. Now, let's head on back to the main subject at hand. Now, a very common problem that I want to talk about, but this certainly isn't a major problem, and that is the fact there are a ton of useless plastic accessories for the Wii. Now, back during the Wii, there were some games that would come out by Nintendo that did offer their own accessories made from plastic. After all, there was the Wii Zapper that came with Link's crossbow training. There was also the racing wheel that came with Mario Kart Wii. And the truth of the matter is, you didn't really need those accessories to play those games. Literally, if you were to play those games no different with just the Wii remote and the nunchuck, it would play exactly the same, even if you didn't have those accessories. However, as things progressed through the Wii's lifespan, there would be a ton of useless plastic third-party junk that would come out. I'm talking about plastic baseball bats where you put your Wii remote in so that way you could experience like the bigs or Wii Sports more authentically. And then of course there were plastic guns, there were plastic tennis rackets, and the truth of the matter is you didn't need those accessories at all. The games would play exactly the same if you had just the Wii remote and the nunchuck. You'd still be using the Wii remote the same way when you would hit a baseball in Wii Sports. I mean, just using that plastic accessory offered no value to your experience. Now, of course, it's very easy to avoid, to simply just don't buy them. But of course, if you are doing a lot of pickups with bundles, especially locally, like on Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, yard sales, things of that nature, there is a very good chance if you happen to buy a Wii console or a bundle of games that you will probably have one of those accessories thrown into that bundle. I can speak on experience to this because I've got a few of those accessories just through that way. While I will say it's not a major problem, I just consider it a big annoyance. Well, maybe not a big annoyance, but an annoyance. But I will say that is a very common issue when it comes to collecting for the Wii. Now, of course, talking about another common problem on the Nintendo Wii is the very poor motion controls in games. While it is very true that there are a ton of games with poor controls, and you can make the argument that there are games with poor controls on every game console like ever made, unfortunately, I would argue that it is way more common, this issue, on the Wii, especially with games that implement motion control. Now, I will say this isn't a problem that you'll experience if you're playing a good quality title such as Twilight Princess or Super Mario Galaxy, Wii Sports, Trauma Center Second Opinion, Rayman Raving Rabbids. Those games, you're not really going to experience that issue, but you will experience very poor motion controls when it comes to games that are especially shovelware titles and very poor quality titles. A lot of times, if you're playing a game like a racing game from a poor developer, you will sometimes notice that if you try to turn to the left, you'll be turning more to the left than what's really normal, or more to the right. And then, of course, you can only imagine with some of the other games where they implement motion control into them as well from some of these developers, it did not offer a good experience to the player. And I do remember this was a very common complaint back during the 7th generation, that sometimes a lot of people would say the Wii had very poor controls on some of their games. And it is those games that made that argument very prevalent. But like I said, if you're buying good quality titles, as some of the games that I've mentioned from before, you're not really going to experience this issue. But if you are going to be cranking out through as many Wii games as possible, I would say that it is only a matter of time until you start seeing some of those games where they don't really have the best controls. So that is something that you will notice is pretty prevalent with the Wii's library of games. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.